just in case you missed it. It's the top 5 sports talkers of the day. Now, it's time for Dan Barrero's Top 5 at 5. Brought to you by Gutter Helmet of Minnesota. Never clean your gutters again. Learn more at gutterhelmetmn.com.
The whole Bradshaw and Brian KFAN text line thing is coming apart at the seams again. I'm going to try to get it rebooted here. Meantime, top 5 at 5 now.
Because it's not working or because of the text? It's two separate ideas there.
It's because of, I can literally copy down the verification code, and for some reason it's suddenly saying, well, that's not the right verification code, and then you try to let's just redo it. Okay, let's try it again. It's complicated over here, but we'll get through it. In the meantime, you can get started however you might want to proceed.
Wolves Nuggets game 6, the game everybody's talking about tomorrow night in Erotic City, 8:30 puck drop at Target Center. The Wolves with a 3-2 lead in that series. Here's the injury report. Dante DiVincenzo, he's out, we know that. Anthony Edwards, he's out, we know that. Questionable, Bones Highland with left knee soreness.
That's just a bummerooski. They're just trying.
Now,
to
did you watch the end of the game?
No, not the end.
With about 3, maybe 2 minutes left after the Wolves had cut it to 10, and then Denver, I think, extended it back to 15 or 16 points. If you were still watching at that point, you would have noticed that a play wrapped up with Bones Highland noticeably limping in the left corner on, I think, the Wolves defensive side, noticeably limping.
Ooh.
And I think at that point, Finch called a timeout. And then that was when Joe Ingles checked in with, Berenger and everybody else. And I'm pretty sure it was the Highland limp that was, all right, we got to get out of here. But that's my assumption, is that's when the injury took place. There are some videos of him walking around today, but he is officially listed as questionable for the game tomorrow
Well, that wouldn't be helpful if indeed that's an issue, right?
On the Nuggets side, I don't have their full injury report. They're thinking that Peyton Watson might come back.
That'd be a major bonus. However, that falls under the classification of if you've been out as long as he has. Now, he's a role player, right? So they're not asking him to score 25 points. But his forte is on a team that has very few people who can guard, Jaden, he guards. So can you get that from him from the get-go? Given how long he's been out? I don't know.
Right. And if you're Denver, you're probably going to lose him this summer. Apparently, he's a free agent.
Yeah.
And they gave your guy, Christian Brown, a huge contract that kicks in next year. I think it's 5 years, $25 million. So you're probably going to lose him, which is an interesting big picture discussion for Denver.
Do you have the Finchy sound from T.J. Shannon? It was
I do.
Quite an interesting exchange between the reporter's question, the way the reporter kind of laid it out there, served it up, and the rather pointed, in understated Finchy style response from the Wolves head coach.
Yes, I'm going to get to it in 2 seconds.
Okay.
I want to mention Denver posted like their walking to the airplane business trip social media post where all the guys are out on the fashionable signature terminal. And the Joker, Nikola Jokic.
Was he wearing a Jaden McDaniels jersey?
No, but he was wearing an arm sleeve on his right arm that goes all the way up past his elbow, fueling further speculation that he is battling something, some type of injury. I don't know if it's a fashion statement by the Joker to wear an arm sleeve. If he's covering up a new tattoo,
is that covering up? Does he have? Is it possible he has a bout of lumbago? Maybe he's suffering from lumbago.
I don't know about lumbago.
Look it up.
Okay,
lumbago.
I'm going to Google lumbago. Here's Finchy.
How do you, clean that up at this point in the season?
I don't clean it up. He cleans it up. Starts with gotta be ready. He's got to be engaged. He's got to be fully committed to that side of the ball. One thing he has done he doesn't foul. He was fouling a lot early. That was really hurting him. It's like the only way I can clean him up is sit him on the bench. Right? That's the only way I can clean him up. So he knows what we need from him right now. So he's got to be ready, and he's got to be ready to execute defensively. And there's no reason that he shouldn't be a good defender with his body type, with his athleticism, and he's a pretty smart player.
That's a good, what do they call them? The sandwich criticisms, where it's a compliment, then a rip, and then another compliment. That's pretty good for Finchy there.
Well, Finchy has become polarizing. And there are people who think he's too soft. And, we get tired of hearing, well, we're not getting the best out of them, or they're not trying hard, or whatever the case may be. And they say, well, that's the job of the head coach. I think what we know about Finchie is whether he is frontal all the time publicly, because there he was pretty frontal, that behind the scenes, allegedly, he's very frontal in film meetings, that he does not take any prisoners. And to me, that's probably the most important thing, regardless of whether he is saying as much publicly as you would like. This is an example of something him being a little bit more public, and maybe even saying, everybody wants me to play this guy, but he's not doing this, this, and this. And this gets back to how you thread the needle on a night like this, where you are in a position to end the damn thing tomorrow without having to go back to Denver. How much rope do you give him? That's part of what when I was talking with Mitch about, it's a night I think a coach can make a difference just picking up vibes on who the players are. They're going to give him the best chance, not to win all the time, but to win specifically tomorrow night. And that's where you go, okay, well, do you allow a couple mistakes? How many can you allow, especially if he's giving you something on the offensive end? That's why they pay these guys the big bucks.
That's true.
Because there's only so much you can allow defensively. We've talked about this. I still think the Wolves' way to win is guard in a way that they've had most of this series, but quite frankly didn't through much of Game 5. Some of that had to do with the 25 turnovers. I get it. But I might lean more that direction, and that might mean less time for Shannon, who does represent what? Downhill, the guy who can kind of is streaky, and maybe you get 17 points from him on a night like this, because just like the role players for Denver that came out of nowhere last game.
Right.
So that's part of the challenge tomorrow night is how patient can Finchie be? What's his line? I'll accept this, but I won't accept this and this.
One nit I would pick about I can straighten it out by putting him on the bench is he was very angry when Rudy Gobert suggested the same thing.
That's true. We talked about that at the time.
And he said, you can't bench your way out of problems.
Right.
It's like, I get it. We were talking about Julius Randle at that point.
This is a role player.
It's a role player, but that's why I think some people were frustrated at the time, because I agree with what he said today.
Yeah.
That if you're not doing the right things, and I agree with the things that Rudy said back then, and I know you got to thread needles, especially with the more important, quote unquote, star players, but that's just interesting.
It is. It's very interesting.
It's interesting. Like, I get it.
It's a night where those kinds of decisions, as arbitrary as they can be and as difficult as they can be to make, because you don't know, might go a long way to figuring this thing out, because you're juggling a roster that is without two starters, and you have a bunch of options. Not all of them are necessarily great options, but they are options. And it's how you fit those options together, the minutes you use them, who you include with who you back off from and say, it's not his, no, I can't waste any more time with him tonight. I've got to go full frontal on somebody else. And that gets back to, is this a night it's most important that Finchie rely on veterans? Because that's what he tends to do at a time like this. The old deal of, a lot on the line, I'm going to go back to guys whose judgment I respect and I believe in over a period of time. Or do you say, that judgment, judgment's great, but sometimes I need somebody to hit a shot. Sometimes I need somebody to get a little voltage going in what we're doing. And so, what the bleep? I might have to go another direction. We'll see.
Oh, we have very little time now to talk Minnesota Wild.
What'd they do?
I won't play the John Hines soundbite on how they did it. We're just out of time.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
We got to straddle. I will say there is no update on Jonas Brodin, who left the game yesterday.
He's out.
Reporters mentioned, including Russo, that he was seen leaving the arena.
Louis worried about that.
Well, yeah, he's leaving the arena on crutches. That's not ideal. Jamie Benn, everyone's favorite Dallas instigator, was fined $2,600 for cross-checking Ryan Hartman in the head.
That's not even worth. I mean, that's insulting.
But it is the most that he can be fined by the collective bargaining agreement, which I would say you don't have a very good agreement.
Well, I would say, or it's further proof that this is a league that just doesn't make enough money compared to the NBA. That's for sure.
Yeah, or doesn't care about cross-checks.
Because the players don't make that, or they don't care about cross-checks. Well, we know that part.
So Game 6 tomorrow night, 6:30 puck drop from Grand Casino Arena.
And 8:30 or 8:40 are the two times tomorrow.
You got it. Yep.
Both teams in the exact same position, at home, in front of the home fans, with a chance to take out the enemy. And both cases, pedigreed teams. In the case of Denver, championship team. In the case of Dallas, a team that has made it to the Final Four the last 3 seasons. It's a great opportunity. Could be a massive night. I'm hoping that the Friday football beast becomes the basketball and hockey beast. I mean, how fun would that be? to be celebrating both teams. Not one or the other. As we've talked about, you have to pick one or the other.
Yep.
But there's no rule or law that says both can't advance. I looked it up.
I'm trying to figure out how long I'm going to be in the mode of what a big opportunity this is and how excited I'm going to be before I go to full Minnesotan and think we'll probably lose both games, and then Saturday will be the next biggest game, but none of us are going to be excited about it because they're road game 7s.
Are they both playing Saturday if there would be? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
They're both Saturday, correct.
Because at some point, you got to get these series over with.
Yes,
as much as we like drawing them out.
Well, no, we want to draw them out because that's more time for Anthony to rest.
That's true.
If we know we're going to win.
It was your guy, Mad Dog Russo, today on First Take was one of his 3 things that he's mad about. He was complaining about the length of first-round playoff series. First of all, that they're in the NBA, that they're not 5 games
Best
anymore.
of 5, yeah.
And no one wants to see him go on this week. And Wilbon, who's been on ESPN all week, said, and I like this line, a first-round playoff series should not last as long as the Summer Olympics. Which is probably true.
There is some truth to that. But, again, that's all money. That's what we know what that's about.
Definitely.
Best of 5 makes great sense for first round.
TheFan@BigDeck.com. Speaking of money, I want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks. It is our national cash contest. The final keyword of the evening is cash. Go to KFAN.com and enter the keyword cash.
As in Patel? No, that's K-A-S-H. This would be C-A-S-H?
This is C, yes.
Gotcha. I thought there was an important distinction right there.
If you say K-A-C-H, we send you just a 6-pack to your house. Booth at KFAN.com.
I like it. By the way, I've got an apology. The Bumper to Bumper program will be delivering an apology. I think we're forced to when we return. As I was reminded by an intrepid listener late last night, I mocked and ridiculed the return of Joel Embiid to the Philadelphia 76ers lineup. He had looked in his first game back from appendicitis, lumbering, slow, occasionally disinterested, and that game, the Sixers were not even, for the first time in the series, frankly, not even competitive with the favored Boston Celtics. He was back last night in Boston for Game 5. Celtics boot on the throat, right? They're going to end the series. It's their series. It's not Philly's series. And what does Joel Embiid do? Goes 12 for 23 from the field, 9 of 10 from the line, 33 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds, and even a blocked shot as the Sixers dominated in the fourth quarter the Celtics and went on to a 113-97 victory. The series now extended to a Game 6 in Philly. I'm assuming either tomorrow night or Friday. I don't know when they pick up that series. Now,
tomorrow night.
There's a good chance that Embiid will be back on the injury list by tomorrow because that's always the issue with him. The issue has never been that Joel Embiid isn't capable of being a top 5 front court player. It's we'll get a game like that, and that's what will tease people and, frankly, convince teams to pay him more than $60 million a year, and then he'll disappear. And then he'll have another injury. And then he'll come back bloated.
He was the MVP 3 seasons ago.
Correct.
2023.
And that year, I think he only played like 70 games. But he was that dominant nevertheless. So I'll apologize because he was the difference in that game last night. It's undeniable. So last night was one of those nights you didn't care that all the other wing players who were used to getting the ball more didn't have the ball as much because he was that dominant. Sustaining it might be another issue, and he kind of went. The thing that's, I'm going to go ahead and rip him again now, as I apologize to him
But you got the apology on the record.
I think it's on the record. But when you listen to his press conference, what does he do?
I didn't hear it.
Well, I know there's a lot of doubters out there, and I know there's narratives about I'm lazy or whatever the case may be, and people. And I'm thinking, Joel, is that enough to do a victory lap? Impressive first-round performance without a doubt. But your body of work or lack of work simply because you're unavailable, I would suggest means more than one consecutive good performance before you start going off on the critics and people not understanding how good I am, etc. I mean, don't you think you have to sustain it a little bit? Steal the series. If you help the Sixers come back and win that series,
it's a huge story.
Then I think it's a pretty big story at that point, right? But I think it's got to be a little bit more than what it is right now, which, as I said, is one game in a row. Let me give you the number of games that Embiid has played the last 4 seasons, starting with this most recent season. 38, 19, and 39. Before that, 66, 68, 51, 51, and back into the 60s. So the last 3 years, there's 82 games in an NBA season, correct?
I was doing that math in my head.
What's 82 times 3?
Well, I can't do that.
80 times 3 is 240.
Yeah.
246?
Yep.
Out of a possible 246 games, can you add up 48 plus 38?
Oh, you're asking me?
That's 86, right?
Yeah.
So that's 86 out of 246. That's the issue. And again, you could say, well, that's his bad luck. The injuries are real, and they are, but come on. I just, I don't know. I mean, I don't even know what I expect anymore. You'd like to think there's a chip that a player has that goes, I'm being paid, this contract I'm on, which goes on, I think, for another 3 years, I'm getting paid like $250 million, $250 million. Maybe I should at least have the decency to not go off too hard, given how few games, even if it's not my fault, even if they're just legitimate injuries, that might be tough on the team itself. Maybe I need to go a little bit easy on calling everybody out for doubting me. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of missed games.
He signed a 3-year, $192.9 million maximum contract extension in September of 2024. He's under contract through 29.
And I think isn't that year, I think it's his option, I think.
It is a player option.
Yeah.
The player option, which I'm guessing he'll pick up, is worth $67.2 million. This year, 55.2. Next year, 57.9. 27-28 is 62.6. And then 8-9 is that $67.2 million option.
One other question for you.
Is it math?
No.
Okay.
It's more complicated. It's more intangible than that. Which
I'm better
might be
with the
better.
intangibles. Yeah, usually.
Do we at all feel left out at not being the object of derision from Denver, or even left out to the extent that we have not fired any shots directly at said altitude folks who are apparently at war now, not just with Dane Moore, but with Johnny Athletic. And now apparently I'm told PA has entered the Denver media scrum. Is that true?
Yeah, he's not only entered it, he is what's more dramatic than entering? He's like the Kool-Aid man busting through the wall.
And so he tweeted out, was this earlier today?
It was this afternoon.
I mean, what the? Scott Hastings is the bomb. Who's Darren McKee?
Yep.
I'll focus on him when he enters my tax bracket.
Yep.
Go Wolves.
Yep.
Do we Are we suffering? Is the Bumper to Bumper crew suffering from FOMO, or are we actually smarter not participating in this stupidity and insanity?
I will only speak for myself. I don't know how you feel.
Okay.
First of all, I defended Dane Moore 2 days ago because...
And then you got out.
I just said, this
Yeah.
is... If we're going to go at somebody, we got to know who we're going at here. The guy literally has built a monster all on his own. So I don't love the Dane Moore slander. Won't be here for it. I was brought up to stay out of these things, and I think we're smarter to stay out of these things. I don't think it serves... It's fun, back and forth.
Right.
No lives
are
at
at
stake.
say it's harmless.
We'll see if these two cities can survive a wild avalanche series coming right off of this, because as we learn every day, right around 4:45, the hockey community, they like to have their shots as well. So we'll see. This thing could go on another 2.5 weeks if the Wild can win this series and we end up playing the Avs. But no, I think we're good.
So is that Hastings is the former player, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's I think he's a good broadcaster. So is the battle? I'm still confused.
Those guys came at Paul Allen first. They were talking about Dane, and then it was
those guys being the play-by-play crew.
No, they're not play-by-play.
Oh.
They just do a show. Hastings might be. I don't know.
I thought Hastings does color analysis. But maybe I'm wrong. But go ahead.
They had some things to say about PA. So in a way, he was defending himself.
Oh,
because called him overrated.
Right.
Not a good broadcaster. Right. Bad guy. So they're playing.
But how does that have? What's that got to do with Dane Moore? I thought Dane Moore was the start of this whole thing.
He was the start of it, but now they're moving on. They're finding different targets. Your time might come before Game 6. They might, pull up some old columns from you.
Yeah, I guess that's possible.
Only time will tell, Davey.
Yeah, I feel a little bit of FOMO, but not enough yet to where. And I don't know if this is a sign of maturity or something else that I don't yet feel like, oh God, we got to get in on this.
Got to get in on the
we got to get in on
war.
This. Yeah,
I just want the Wolves
because I participated in some of those over the years. Sometimes you do, and sometimes you don't.
It just depends on your mood and how you're feeling.
A lot of it is that. That's very, very true, Dave.
Yeah.
All right, let's. Who's good to talk to about this sort of thing? About how childish it could get.
Oh, he loves
our
to
next
scrap.
guest, because
the farm boy.
The farm boy. There's so many stories about, little digs that he has over the years sent out at other local, like Capitol reporters.
Or coworkers.
And then some going back at him too. So he's kind of the genuine article in that regard. He might be, it's possible nobody has raised that form of the insult to the art form that he has over the period of decades. So, Kessler, what's wrong?
I'm just getting Kessler's live reaction.
Oh, I see. He's not denying it, is he?
No, and the only thing I'll add as we go to break is, may I ask a question?
And that was a teammate.
And they did ask me to stay.
That's another teammate.
I wish the American media would take a great look at the views of the people in Congress and find out, are they pro-America or anti-America?
Pat Kessler.
Because people have got to know whether or not their president's a crook. Well, I'm not a crook.
I can't trust Obama. He's an Arab.
Pat Kessler.
Tear down this wall.
I did nothing wrong at the Minneapolis airport.
Senator, you're no Jack Kennedy.
Pat Kessler. And now, to help Dan break down all the tough questions in politics, it's our own Pat Kessler Political Wonk.
I feel like a supermodel, except like times 10.
It's Channel 4's Pat Kessler with Dan Barrero on the Fan.
It is indeed that time again. Kessler is back in studio. Bradshaw and Brian KFAN text line is open at 646-86. Nobody can speak more eloquently to, how do I best describe what I'm trying to say? Childish, intramural battles among media members.
Thank you, Dan.
Than you. I mean, some say
that's a compliment.
You elevated it to an art form back in the day when you were at the state capitol each and every day. And Gaardsy's right. What I think where you stood out is that you didn't just needle and tweak competitors. You were just as capable of needling people you worked with. So how did that come about exactly? And I mean, do you harbor any guilt?
First of all, I have no idea what you're talking about because I am such a nice guy.
You are?
I'm a good guy.
Well, good is another thing. I agree. I don't know if I'd call you nice.
So let's break this down. Mm-hmm. Is this in front of people or is this behind the back stuff? See,
what do you think you were better at?
Oh, right to the face.
You think so?
Yeah. Stabbing somebody right in the front where it goes in so fast.
Here's an example.
It almost feels good.
Here's an example he brought up, and it's a very good one.
I want to hear.
You had no difficulty skewering Esme Murphy, who you used to work with.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, all the time it was that you never had a chance to talk. I mean, what was the bit? What did he call it?
Esme, I ask a question.
Esme, ask a question.
I never said this.
You didn't?
You said it.
Esme, I talked today.
You're the one who said it.
We did?
Get out of here.
Oh.
Esme is a valued colleague and good friend.
We're on the radio. You don't have. No one's buying this nonsense.
All right, so that if I say that, like Frank Vassalero, Frank is a dear colleague and a good friend.
That sounds.
Does that sound
remarkably phony?
Okay.
Yeah.
So is that the insult where, I love this guy so much?
Well, how many of your sound bites are that precious? I mean, think about it.
The other easy.
You mean fake sincerity?
Yeah, do the fake sincerity one about how his career and looking back on it.
Legacy.
Yeah, your legacy. I mean, what was?
Well, here.
Okay, fake sincerity. Yeah. I'll cop to that.
All right.
The number one thing for TV fake sincerity is when you hear somebody say, Pat Kessler is a great broadcaster, but an even better person. That one comes up constantly in your business.
I use that all the time.
I know you do because, like Dan said, you've elevated it to an art form.
So does that
nobody
mean
knows and nobody cares?
Well, so if you fake sincerity and then you say something nice about somebody, does that become an insult? That's the question.
That's what you're asking.
Yeah,
that's what you're proposing.
You asked me a question, so I'll ask it right back. No, I will say I'm good at one thing. And that's navigating the dark politics
of the state of
a major city newsroom.
Yeah. Oh, you mean within the newsroom itself?
Yes.
I don't disagree with that.
Oh, my
sure
God. You got to stay above it.
What kind of legacy?
Here. This is me.
What kind of legacy do I leave? I just did the best job.
Oh, for God's sake.
Here's the other one.
It's been a great run. What a great life. What a great state.
Okay, so that's from his retirement, which never happened. Here's from his Hall of Fame video.
All right.
This is the greatest honor of my life. To be able to report to people in Minnesota.
Wait for it.
Okay.
My people. What's happening in their state.
Okay. Not even Don Shelby would say that.
That is so good. That is so good. I mean, so now I wish, we're never on the camera here.
We will be soon.
But
why?
Start dressing.
Why bother?
Well, me or him?
Well, yeah, it'd have to be more me. Kessler dresses up more than I do.
All the time.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Come here. Because I'm getting a little embarrassed and I'm flushed a little bit.
Well, you know what occurs to me through all of this, in all honesty? You got way too much time on your hands.
I got no time. But go ahead.
That's false, but whatever. The book you should write is the book of TV broadcast insincerity. I mean, you should lay it out, just like
do the tour
and just let everybody in on all the secrets, where all the skeletons are buried. Because as you say, you described it beautifully about the newsroom. What did you just say? What was the term?
Well, the dark politics of behind the scenes in the newsroom. Yeah.
Tell me that wouldn't be a great book. Now, my guess is you'd be too afraid of hurting too many feelings, but could you do it in a way where, well, you'd have to name people, otherwise it's not going to work.
Well, yeah, the book won't sell.
No, yeah.
I mean, I'll just say that Frank and I have many secrets.
Good to know. It's an interesting way to put it.
What are you laughing at?
I'm nothing. I believe you.
That's the way you put it.
I believe you.
It's just always the way you put it. Longer retirement tour. Kessie, Rosen, or Harrison Smith?
Oh, my God. Yeah. Well, I'm going to say, Harrison Smith, because we want him back. we want Harrison Smith back.
No, now I think we need him back.
Have to have
Since
him.
we decided not to take the safety. We got too cute in the first round.
Yeah, I know. I know.
No, you love it.
I
You
know.
love that. You always.
Are you going to talk to Leonard about that? One of the your favorite Will?
Is that your favorite Will?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So wait until he proves everybody wrong. Now, I was like, what? Who's this guy?
Yeah.
What? Wait a minute. And he's hurt? And he's got foot problems? But really? So now this is how I feel. He is going to be so thankful, and he's going to work double, triple hard to prove all the doubters
all the
wrong.
naysayers?
Absolutely. And he's going to end up being a superstar.
I forgot to save the text. Oh, it might not have been a text. It might have been a tweet.
While you look for it, I would like to see you like on Fox 9's Good Day talking about TV insincerity, like doing the morning show car wash on all the different TV shows to their faces.
Fox Local.
Exactly.
I can do Fox Local. Sure.
Fox Local. You're tailor-made for Fox Local. You
just
got
sit
some
around.
sources.
Yeah,
Just deal with whatever comes on that given day.
On that day, and here's what I think.
Here's a hearing going on at the state capitol. I
Here's
know
what
about
you
that
don't
because
know.
I used to cover those hearings.
Yeah. So when I was reporting from the Capitol, frequently lawmakers would send me texts, and if there was a controversy going on in the places we were not allowed, I would get a photo of what's going on back there, and so just proof to be able to report on something. But there was a lot of long knives at the state capitol, even more than in.
Well, when you say you describe it that way, you're talking about among the politicians, or are you back talking about the media members?
No. But the politicians.
Right.
Would,
okay. Yeah.
Although I heard from all of the politicians about fellow media.
Yeah.
All the time.
So
As
they would
I'm
try to
sure
suck
they
up to
do
you.
it to me.
Yeah. So they would try to suck up to you.
Yeah.
By saying, Carrie Miller, man, you can't trust her.
And they'd go to Hauser and say, why?
Yeah.
Kessler is a bum, a crumb bum. I love the old.
I don't know that expression.
Yeah, crumb bum is like the old insult from the 1940s.
It sounds awfully
You're a
G-rated.
crumb bum.
Yeah, I don't know that'll hold up today.
You're a dang crumb bum.
Yeah.
So, we got a lot of that.
This is the tweet that came in.
Uh-oh.
Belinda Jensen just did a segment on KARE 11 about this being peak bird migration into Minnesota. Dan, are you still keeping track of the birds that somehow do not see the People's Stadium?
The stories a stadium could tell.
Where are we? Didn't we replace some of the glass or some of the covering? And do we? What are the analytics now on how many birds are killed? Have you asked Lester Bagley?
Honestly, I haven't looked into this in many months, probably a year. But they were. We don't have piles of dead birds on the sidewalk around the stadium. However, there are other big glass buildings around the country that put up the reflective tape on the glass, and the birds tend to avoid it. Most notably, the Jacob Javits Center in New York City, where birds were getting killed. Center. Yeah, they were getting killed, just slamming into the glass, and now they get very few. So I did do a couple of times, make the early morning rounds around this time of the year.
Yeah.
Because it's flyway time up and down the Mississippi River. And we'd find a bird here or there, but not a lot. So I'd love our.
You sound disappointed.
Well, I was, because
a bird here or there.
Well, dead bird. Every dead bird is important, Dan.
I agree.
Every single
one. I don't disagree with that at all.
But when we're going through this controversy with the U.S. Bank Stadium, just trying to figure out what is true and what is not true, what is real and what is not, was very, very difficult. Even the Audubon Society was unable to do really deep dives into this, although they did send people out. So if we have Audubon Society listeners, text us right now. I'd love to know how many birds they find, because
I would have assumed you were a member of the Audubon Society.
Why?
He was Bagley's guy, remember?
Oh, that's true.
He had to. That's why he said
I'm in
a bird,
the bag.
too.
You were in the bag.
Yeah.
Nobody was in the bag for the stadium.
Now
like
get
you.
out of here.
It's true.
Just only because I believe that there should be public interest and public support, and by that I mean taxpayer support, for major buildings in cities. No, I'm not talking about the Trump Arch in Washington, D.C., or the ballroom, which we can talk about sometime.
Right.
I'm not opposed to the ballroom, but let's talk about that sometime. But yeah, I mean, just because that, then, suddenly I'm in the bag. Yeah, I mean, I'm insulted. That was a right to my face insult of my long-standing credibility and professionalism.
Ask Kessler if Tom Hauser has blocked him too on X.
Oh, I should look.
Has he blocked you?
Well, there are people who block me. I'm not going to lie.
Not going to lie.
Nope.
Well,
I'll find who. Yeah, there are people who have blocked me and why I don't know. Now, I don't block people.
You're not a big blocker. Do you mute?
I mute, and I think I have if it's racist or something like that.
How about a lot of swearing? I block swearers immediately.
Do you?
Yes. If you're doing a bunch of Effenheimers, I don't.
Oh, you mean like if they're going after you?
It's not that they're going after me. That's part of the business. It's if the language is constantly obscene, then I'm out. Okay. I don't need that. There's ways to get through. Here's another story for you, right up your alley, and we will get to some politics eventually. What's the Kessler experience? You go to arenas all the time. You pretend to be a fan of several teams, and to a certain extent now, you kind of have to because Freaky is in a position of great authority, so you got to hobnob and you got to meet with the beautiful people in the suites and all that kind of stuff. Here's my question.
That's your fatal flaw in this argument, though.
What's that?
Where he sits.
Yeah,
he's insulated from a lot of these shenanigans.
Yes.
But
go back to the days when you weren't insulated, to the days where you actually had to sit with the commoners, not the beautiful people in the suites. Mm-hmm. If you were around some drunken idiot, because it's usually booze related, who is constantly throwing out not just Effenheimers, but other obscene language.
You gotta stop it. Gotta stop it.
But you say that, but
no,
did you?
I have.
You have?
I have.
So how do you do it? What's the Kessler approach? You do call security.
Call security. Now, I made the mistake of taking a very close friend of mine to the Gopher, Iowa Hawkeye football game a couple of years ago.
Right.
That was a mistake.
Was that Vassalero?
No. Frank is a Colorado guy.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
but you still could have taken him to a game.
Yeah. No. So
I'm trying you to out the person. So what happened?
I thought about outing him, but I'm not gonna.
Oh, you know the story?
Yeah. Well, I don't know the story, but I know the friend.
Yeah. So I took him to the Gopher game, and he comes dressed in Iowa Hawkeye stuff, which was bad enough. I went, oh my God, what are you doing?
What did you think he was going to do?
It's fine. I wear a Gopher hat, but I don't dress as Goldie.
Not that day.
No, not that day. And he gets in a fight with the guy sitting in our row.
No.
Yes.
Like a physical fight?
Yeah, gets in a pushing fight, so I have to separate him. And then the dude won't let it go. And I'm sitting next to him. The other fan who I don't
let it go. You're saying the friend?
I don't know. No, the friend.
Oh, okay.
We had to.
Okay.
Yeah, we had him ejected early. No, we didn't. But the other guy wouldn't let it go, and he just starts laying in with a lot of vulgarity and stuff like that, and so you got to call security. And I'm sorry. I mean, you got to do that. So especially if you're with a kid.
Well, that's the key to this, yeah.
Oh, is that it's
the story I told, yeah, with Giovanzi. It was, and I didn't handle it.
Yeah.
What I did was I gave.
Well, I didn't mean to shame you.
No, I'm perfectly willing to be shamed. I acknowledged it publicly on the air that I wasn't proud that I didn't get more directly involved. And what a lot of people said is, well, don't get involved. There's a number. You call it. Period. End of story. Part of my issue
that's what I say you do.
I couldn't identify the individual.
The dude.
Right, because you never know what they're capable of. But this was a guy then who was well over the line constantly, a few minutes into the game. And to his credit, there was a guy to my left with a kid, maybe a girl about 15 years old. And he basically got up, turned around.
Good for him.
And shamed him. Yeah. And the problem is, you never know about the other person. That's the challenge, because what if they are capable of whatever?
Well,
pulling out a knife, jumping at you, throwing themselves 3 rows down to get in your
this
face.
This is what
whatever.
my gal always tells me because I tend to get worked up.
Especially in bars.
And in grocery stores and in wherever. And I tend to get pretty heated. And she has to pull me back quite a bit because you never know what the other person has. So, to your example, no, you can't confront the guy. I think you can tell him, give me a break here. Can you help me out here?
Yeah.
Give me a break. But you got to call security, and there's all of these ways in these situations where you can just dial it on your phone and come on down.
That's what Gaardsy reminded me of.
Absolutely,
yeah.
And that's what I've done before. So confronting somebody, you're absolutely right. You don't know what they got, particularly because you're like a road rage driver.
Exactly.
You're that guy.
I could be the guy. I could snap.
And you could.
Yeah.
And you confront somebody in a car, and this also happens to me. I'm embarrassed to say it, but it does. I get, what did you cut me off for?
Right.
But they might have a gun.
That's what exactly. In some cases, they have. We've seen those stories play out.
And I don't know, security in any of these public places we go, and we all go there and enjoy games and.
But what do you say to people who respond with, "Take it easy, get over yourself, calm down.
We do not have to.
If you don't want to deal with what's out there, then stay home."
Nope. That's absolutely wrong.
People have gotten way too hypersensitive.
Absolutely wrong.
Okay.
We have to be civilized. We have a social code, the way we treat each other as neighbors, as fellow citizens, as fans. We have a way to behave, and that's not it. So no, you might back off a little bit when you've got somebody yelling on a speakerphone.
Yeah.
But no, that's a whole different thing. I don't agree.
A texter writes, will you please ask Kessie if he still gets free tickets for U.S. Bank events from Michelle Kilm?
Will you stop it? Where did this start?
The Hank pipeline dried up.
You didn't answer. You didn't answer.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you can always say, you didn't deny it.
Yeah, you didn't deny it.
You didn't deny it.
Well, that's what you'd say when you were a reporter.
You didn't deny it.
Yeah.
You think he was talking about you?
Okay, Nora O'Donnell to the president.
It's next level.
And there's some text coming in that I can't even get close to.
You think
it's just for you and me, Pat?
You think he was talking about you? So we don't accept that. I don't even know what to say because she is a great public servant. I'm just going to say that.
Wouldn't most of Kessler's colleagues be separated from their mortal remains by now? Man. Wow. I guess that's an age comment on you. You've not run from your age.
No, I'm 80 plus.
Yeah, it's nothing to be. Oh, by the way, birthday today. Speaking of speaking of older folks.
Yes.
Willie Nelson.
Oh no,
93 today.
That is incredible.
93 years old.
All right.
Think about that.
All right, I've had a couple of instances of FOMO, and at the Farm Aid this last fall,
right.
I mean, he and his kid were there.
That's true.
Oh, my God. Luke Wilson.
Very successful event. That event went well, as I recall it.
Yeah, except he didn't play till like 2 o'clock in the morning or something.
And didn't...
Neil Young was there.
Neil Young was there. I remember watching that part of it.
Yep.
Dylan... Was that one of those performances that made you love Dylan or hate him?
No, I mean,
is that one where he mumbled a lot?
He did, and except you could see him, and he came out with a white hoodie with the hood way down over his face. Yeah. And then he sings, but I don't know. I love Dylan. I love him.
Well, he's a legend.
Yeah.
It's undeniable.
So I've been disappointed with a few performances. But yeah, happy birthday to Willie. I mean, that is really
93 years old.
That is fan-frickin-tastic.
You want to talk about mileage and what he has seen and done?
Yes.
And the whole bit. It's unbelievable.
It really is. And he was unapologetically high for his whole career.
We just talked about that again the other day. He part of the year in Maui. He's got to play a compound there.
Did not know that.
And he's one of the regulars at the Don Nelson poker weekly event, in which the Maui Wowie is flowing regularly amongst all of the participants, even occasionally participants who drop dead during the card game, they move that person aside and they keep playing because they're all old and they say, "Well, we're all there." It's just it's
okay. This is a story I don't know, so I'll look that up.
It's a good story.
That's great.
Yeah,
I
mean, imagine being at that table.
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of big celebrities, right, that would occasionally show up.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Beyond the regulars, I think, were Nelly and him because they both lived there. At least part of the year, he and Willie both lived there. Nelly and Willie Nelson.
So one of the things about that is that he was kind of an outcast. Well, he was an outlaw. Because people would stay away from him because of his crazy, wild lifestyle. But it wasn't that wild.
No, it really wasn't. That's true.
He'd get high, but people were horrified by that. So he ends up being an outlaw with Waylon Jennings and all these guys. I mean, that's really great. I mean,
authentic. One of those authentic
finally
American.
Some good news.
Yeah, that's true. Let's get to some bad news. You mentioned on your way in here, it wasn't on your original list, but it was on my list. Your guy Comey has been indicted. We have to talk about that story. You mentioned that the president must have been asked about it at one of the press briefings today. We'll try to run the gamut quickly on a number of news items from the A section in part 2 of our eclectic visit with Pat Kessler. The president spoke to reporters a lot today. Was that in front of the? Didn't we have royalty? Was royalty yesterday?
Royalty was yesterday. King Charles and Queen Camilla are in New York City today.
Oh, okay. So they were in Washington yesterday.
Yes, they were. And by the way, that was. I don't know how many of our listeners did this.
Yeah.
I carved out time in the day to make sure I could watch the speech. Does that make me nerd-like?
No, not necessarily.
He spoke to Congress, and King Charles was charming. Mm-hmm. He was absolutely great. I thought he was wonderful. And
is that historic? Is that the first time?
Well, Queen Elizabeth spoke.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
In 1991.
She had a hell of a run, man.
Man, did she ever.
Incredible run.
Yeah. And speaking of witnessing history, I mean, she is somebody.
So, what was the occasion where the president was taking questions today? Who was he talking to? Who was he with? What was the occasion?
Had some event, and this is what he does.
Yeah,
he's very transparent.
Yeah.
Where he'll sit down and he sits now. He doesn't get up. Back in the day, he would stand and answer questions, but he sits behind the desk. I don't know what that says.
What are you suggesting?
I don't know what that says.
Okay.
But, these things sometimes last an hour, and he'll
riff.
He will.
Yeah.
What he calls the weave.
So today, it sounds like he was riffing on Jimmy Comey?
Among other things, he was asked about the indictment of James Comey. Oh, yeah, I heard that, he says.
Is that what he said?
I know. Oh, yeah. So even though he is, I would say he is the most accessible president, I think, in my lifetime that has ever been.
He's too accessible.
Way too accessible.
Yeah.
And much of the stuff he says is just, way, way, way out there, not true. Well, today, here's the deal. James Comey, for the second time, the first time it was thrown out, he was indicted. James Comey, a year ago, tweeted out a photograph of somebody had arranged seashells on the beach. And it said 8647, which means, in protest language, get rid of
whoever.
47. I mean, there was 8646 with Biden. People did that. People were selling T-shirts with that. But the phrase 86, the number 86, means a lot of different things. Well, the president interprets that as a threat, a serious threat against his life by the former FBI director and lifetime federal prosecutor, and it's all nutty, in my view. Of course he wasn't going to do it. Of course he wasn't. But, so Caitlin Collins, your gal from CNN, asks him, do you really think that 8647 means that James Comey was trying to assassinate you or do violence against you? Yes, I do. Haven't anybody? That's a dumb question. Hasn't anybody seen a mafia movie? All of the mafia movies, that's what they say. we're going to 86 you.
And then there's a horse.
And then there's a horse in your bed.
Horse head
the
in the
horse
bed,
head in the bed. Yeah,
exactly.
In the silk sheets. That's what happens. Well, I don't know. I went down the rabbit hole for the last several hours. I'm trying to find a movie
in which that is they use the term 86.
86. The only one I could find was the Robert Redford movie, The Candidate. Great movie.
Yeah.
Where they say they find this guy, good-looking guy, they're going to run him for office. And they said, we're going to cut your hair and 86 those sideburns.
Oh, interesting.
86 is a restaurant term or a bar term. If
Right.
you're 86, I'm not going to serve you again.
Right.
If
you get blackballed, so to speak.
Absolutely. And if you are in the restaurant business, the waiter or the waitress will say, give me a hamburger, 86, the ketchup on it. No ketchup.
Yeah, gotcha.
So that's what it
here's
is. So talk to me about this.
Well, here's what I would say. I would say I agree, and I don't know who this guy is, but I agree with him across the board. James Comey's shell message, about which Mr. Comey is plainly lying, is, despite his lies, not a true threat. And in the end, the case against him will not hold up. If it gets to the Supreme Court, it will be 9-0 to overturn a conviction. There will not be a partisan or ideological division on this one. The relevant constitutional doctrine is clear. I agree with that. I think Comey I don't believe anything Comey said on it. He's being way too cute about, he knew exactly what he was doing.
Of course he did. Of course he did.
However, it does not come close to rising to a level. In fact, I think the judges is in front of, again, this is just merely a prediction. I think he was a W appointee. But what everybody's already saying is this is going to be dismissed out of hand.
Well, it will be. And not only did he know what it was, but it's a political statement. It's a First Amendment statement. He knows what 86 means. What he is arguing is that it doesn't mean you're going to kill someone.
Right.
What it means is impeach him, get rid of him, figure out a way to unelect him.
50 different things.
Yes. So if he's saying, and I haven't heard him say this, if he's saying he doesn't have any idea what it meant, well, that's BS. That's
correct.
Just not true.
That's disingenuous.
So, but not only is this a frivolous charge that the president has insisted that he wants him charged again and wants some of his other enemies charged, I think it's possible, I've read a little bit about this, that the lawyers who are presenting this case could be sanctioned and could be
for even presenting it, you mean?
Yes, because it is so bad faith.
Yeah, right.
It is not in good faith. And there are some suggestions that if they pursue this much further, that they could be disbarred. But it's not about it's not about whether this is true or not true, because everybody understands this is not true. It's a fake thing that they're trying to do. They're trying to please the president. What this is in the business, in police sometimes say this, you're going to beat the rap.
Yeah.
But you're not going to beat the ride. And the ride is, we're going to put you in jail, we're going to mugshot you, it's going to cost you $100,000. We're
going to make you feel it.
We're going to make this really hard for you. That's what this is about. And the Pretenders, one of my favorite bands, Chrissie Hynde, has a song called You Hurt Me, So I'll Hurt You. That's what this is. And why we're not settling the war in Iran and helping grocery prices go down and all of that. Why are we focused on this? And I'm not talking about we as Americans. I'm talking about we as President Trump.
Who's the Secretary of War? Is it Hegseth?
There is no Secretary of War. There is a Secretary of Defense.
Yes.
Yes, it is Pete Hegseth.
You should know me better than
I do, but I don't think your listeners do.
Yes, they do. Oh, they're smarter than you think. He got caught.
Wow, that was a rip.
Today or yesterday? Well, yeah, on you.
Yeah, I know it was.
So I would say I don't remember who the elected rep or senator was. It this on the Senate side or the House side? He was taking questions today on Capitol.
That's in the House.
In the House. I don't know who it was.
The Armed Services Committee.
And he got him caught again on the. Well, wait a minute now. You're saying on the one hand that we did have to go in again to deal with the nuclear capability, But then you also had said that got previously taken care of the last time we went in there, so which is it? And it became this silly shell game about, well, no, we're not saying that they had the capabilities, but they still had
the ambition.
Exactly. But ambition is very different, because if you've already taken out most of what their capabilities, then how do you present it after the fact as, well, it was still in their mind, so we had to go in there again and do what we're doing?
Well, this was a very contentious hearing with Pete Hegseth, one of us. Very contentious hearing where he's answering questions for the first time from Congress since this war began, and perpetuating the charade that we've won the war, we've done everything we want to do, even though the repercussions are only now beginning to be felt. And he was getting some pretty serious pushback. The back and forth with the members of Congress that, yes, President Trump was right. All of the nuclear material was obliterated, but they are moving very quickly to put it back together, and they have ambitions. But you're right. This is the pushback on that, is that ambitions is not imminent threat. Now, we're coming up to May 1st here pretty soon. And I believe that's about 60 days into this when the law says they have to come to Congress and get approval for any kind of action, war action, that they're doing in Iran. So, meanwhile, I think the price of gasoline today is $4.23, $1.25 more than it was a couple of months ago.
You have 1 minute left. Should lawmakers get special protection after assassinations, shootings, etc., especially given the current climate?
I've been very surprised over the years that there was not a more protective detail for lawmakers, for the Minnesota Supreme Court,
we had the money
for the constitutional officers. This is one of these things, I'm very sorry to say, that we might want to spend it because that's the price of keeping people safe. And it'd be about $12-13 million to do it. Create a special security platform.
Are you talking about state or
state lawmakers?
State.
Minnesota state lawmakers after the assassination and murder of Hortman and her husband, Melissa Hortman, and the terrible shootings of John Hoffman and his wife, Yvette. Yeah, I mean, this is a real thing. And we can talk about the causes some other time. But the danger is here. I'm surprised that there was no coordinated way for people to find out that there's a danger. If there is something happening, send somebody to their house. We don't have that here, or for our Supreme Court. You can walk in and do whatever you want. But now I think they've got to lock it down.
Do you want to close this segment with an apology? I mean, I'm going to leave it up to you.
I'm always willing to apologize.
I think it's better if you volunteer it than me try to bring it out of you.
Okay, very good. Understood.
My sources say, despite your ongoing campaigning and politicking to pretend to be this utterly loyal Gopher fan, that you did not attend the Gopher spring game. You and about 5 million other people didn't attend it from what I saw. So you want to explain yourself, or you want to just apologize?
You know, I need to admit guilt. And yes, sometimes people, Dan, do dumb things. And this is one of them. Did I miss the spring game? Yeah.
Missed a lot of games.
Sorry about that.
Missed a lot of games. Basketball, football.
Man, he's calling you out, I think.
I got nothing to say.
I used to be able to count on him.
I apologized. I apologized for...
Is it beneath you now? Is that what it's come to?
Have I been in the president's suite?
The club level wasn't open for the spring game, so you decided you didn't want to sit on the visitor sideline basking in the sun.
The athletic director's suite was not open, perhaps.
They did
have some suites open, actually. So you must not have gotten invited.
No, maybe that's it. Because
that's too bad.
Because I haven't been attending the spring game. So, you know,
we won the spring game, by the way.
The shirts versus skins.
Shirts versus skins. That's right. It wasn't it a blowout?
31-7, Team Gold over Team Maroon.
Yeah. Oh, that is incredible.
Yeah.
It's an upset, too. I think Maroon
I guess I do owe an
Maroon
apology.
was slightly favored, yeah.
You know.
I'm just saying.
The old Indiana quarterback had money on Maroon.
Okay, so
that's
what?
how he got caught.
So
sad, but true.
When was that again?
Saturday.
It was actually a nice day. I'm anti-spring game. I enjoyed it.
Totally get it. Yeah, I haven't been to many spring games. I was at the Melania movie.
Well, you said that joke last week.
It's not a joke.
Oh, you went back to see it again?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
That's what they're counting on.
Repeat customers?
Yes.
All right. We got to go.
Right.
What's your next sporting event that's scheduled that you're actually going to attend? Will you be either at the arena formerly known as the X or Target Center tomorrow night?
Yeah. If
close out games.
If you are there at the X, I will be there.
I will not be at the X, but I will be at Target Center.
Can I get a ticket?
No. Well, yeah, you can.
I can
go
buy one.
online and buy a ticket.
Find it, yeah.
That's what I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Just go find one.
Excellent.
It's not like you can't afford it.
No. I'm just or
talk to Hank Helgen. I don't care. Whatever.
Wow.
Sorry, we got to go. We're late.
All right. See you,
Kessler. We'll come back and wrap it up.
Show Wrap is presented by American Pressure, commercial-grade pressure washer since 1975.
It's the Bumper to Bumper Show Wrap.
I'm not going to lie to you. I wish it were Thursday night. I really do. I am very much looking forward to the doubleheader tomorrow night. Wild early, or earlier, taking on Dallas with a chance to advance. Wolves also home. They're home. 8:40-ish. The chance to advance. Knock off the favored, and now heavily favored, Denver Nuggets. I think it's going to be a very, very interesting evening. I'm not predicting anything, but I think, in all honesty, there is reason to believe, and I could be too Pollyanna on this, that both teams can advance. It's clearly a tougher sell in the case of the Wolves, even though they're at home for the obvious reasons. If you look at it logically, you go back even before the series began, you go, this is Denver. Man, you're down 2 starters, including your star? Come on, man. What are you smoking? Are you getting into the Maui Wowie like Willie Nelson and Don Nelson for the poker games? But I still feel that way. Now, will I feel that way by the time we start the show tomorrow? I don't know. But we're going to do a lot of more conversing and previewing of those 2 games tomorrow. We got a head start on that today with an outstanding array of guests, including Louis from Bermuda, where I'm assuming he's wearing Bermuda shorts. Also from Mitch Lawrence, NBA Big Knocker. They joined early, Louis at 3:30 and Mitch at 4 o'clock. Great stuff from the A section via the intrepid reporter Lou Ragoose from KARE 11 with some new Feeding Our Future stuff that you really cannot make up, even though all of it seems made up. Kessler, we were very gonzo with Kessler today. We went a lot of other directions early, which is kind of fun because there's nothing he can't talk about. And then we eventually got into some political ups and downs, so to speak, as well. Tomorrow is Thursday, correct?
Yes.
Are we opening the inbox tomorrow? Do we think?
Sure can.
We probably should.
I think we should.
Yeah, it makes sense tomorrow.
Russo's going to join from Grand Casino Arena.
Russo's going to join. We need to get... I've been working on Sam Mitchell. I'm going to try to get Sam again tomorrow to preview. That would be nice.
Yep.
But we'll add probably to the mix. And then we are out at 6 o'clock tomorrow because the Wild game is a 6:30 start. So the pregame show will begin at 6.
Bonus pregame,
if not now, exactly when. A lot of early celebration of the fact that all is right with the world now that Zuccarello is healthy, because we're basically being told that Zuccarello, when it comes to Stanley Cup chances, there is literally no more important player, including Kaprizov.
He's the Zookie Blankie.
He's the Zookie Blankie for Kaprizov specifically, and for this team more generally as well. A lot of discussion on that in a hockey-filled first hour of the program. Tonight is Fan on Demand on the air. Is that correct?
Yes, and then Dan Patrick.
And then a busy day I'm looking forward to tomorrow. We will talk to you at 3.
I'm Ricky Rubio. I'm not like anybody else. Change the face. Be happy. Enjoy it.
Believe.